We are here for SixFive session number 3, and today we're going to talk about branding, which we know is a big topic, but really excited to be here with obviously Nicole. Nicole does video, so she's got a really nice perspective on that, and also Alex, who is much more on design, graphic design, but focused there. So big topic. I guess just to start to warm up, what is your favorite brand? We'll go through that just to get us thinking off the start, and then we can maybe devolve into what we need to talk to about that. It's a big one.
Yeah. Because
I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
I like certain factors of certain brands, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Like one of them that I recently kind of discovered, I knew about, but I looked more into is Ten Tree. The clothing line. I just, when you look at that brand, it just makes you feel something. It's like, I'm not just wearing these clothes. I'm doing it with purpose, or I'm saving the world. I don't know. It makes you feel something.
You can feel how confident they look too. Like even people walking around and I know I'm doing something. You know what I mean? I think that's and they did build up a good brand.
Oh, absolutely.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about them was like Kevin. They went on Dragon's Den. Ten Tree did, and they built that really big side off like the socially conscious part, which is a huge part. But a lot of people like Kevin O'Leary. No, cut that out. You know what I mean? But I think that's a problem, right? People, they understand the equity that they have with that Ten Tree brand with the socially conscious part. So I think that's a cool starting point. Like
I know, because it's such a recognizable brand nowadays. Yeah. I know if I'm in a room full of people that I don't know and I see somebody with a Ten Tree shirt, I can kind of go.
That's the person, eh?
Yeah, that's the person.
That's hilarious. Yeah. What do you got, Alex? What do you think here?
Well, see, to me, I think that's the whole thing with branding to it now. It's so much more than just the face of the company. The company, through its evasive advertising, has built a personality now, and they're an entity. So now all of a sudden there's morals with branding involved, right? And like that Ten Tree one, it might not have the best logo, but which is a huge part of branding for me. Yeah. Because that's what I do. But the whole socially conscious part, that matters to me too, as a consumer. Yeah. So it's hard for me to, and it's like, as I make a logo, it's hard for me to separate that consumer bit of me, but at the same time, it just makes me very choosy. So I think my favorite brand would have to be for that. What are you thinking? Yeah. Oh, well, it's huge for me, but
yeah. And maybe not a favorite, but the one that you like. Leafly, okay. Leafly.
Sorry, guys.
Can you talk what Leafly is, though?
Yeah. It's like a marijuana strain kind of library, and it's really cool to just read through it. And it also is very socially conscious. It'll have you could sign in if you're a patient. It makes it easier to find where you're allowed to get this kind, where you're not, and it tells you where dispensaries are and stuff like that. Not that I go searching.
Yeah, of course. Disclaimer.
But they built an entire brand around these really really simple purpose of just giving people more information. Yeah. As clearly as possible and make it as easy for them to access care.
In a nice way too.
Exactly.
Their site is beautiful.
Exactly.
When you look at it, it's
they cared about
clean,
it.
It's modern,
and the logo to me is the icing on the cake because the logo is also
beautiful
nice.
Too, eh?
Yeah.
Well, and I think what they did such a good job too was shedding even sort of stereotype of stoner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't care. It's
exactly.
And they've done. It's just clean, modern, crisp, and when you look on it, it's not like you don't think hippie stoner. No. You know what I mean? They've done a great job with that. So I think that's a really cool thing.
New and innovative. And actually, another interesting thing with branding is brand loyalty. Because I know there's people that are like, I'm a Starbucks person or a Tim Hortons person. There's always that rivalry, or even Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, the classic.
That's the classic, yeah.
I've seen you with a lot of different coffees. So where does your loyalty lie? That's what I want to know.
I actually really like those kind of smaller coffee shops.
Smaller ones,
this one's just in London, and I like to go to those kind of niche, almost hipster-y kind of coffee shops.
No, but I think that speaks a lot because we're seeing like a renaissance of especially with the craft beer and the local. You know what I mean? It's such a people have been pushed by these massive companies for so long that they're looking for something a little more unique and it makes them feel a part of it. Yeah. Like you don't feel a part of Budweiser when you're drinking it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's massive and you're but when you have
Budweiser didn't make this beer for you.
Yeah, exactly.
As a matter of fact, they'd rather you pour it out than drink it
exactly.
and buy more. That's what they want.
But and then when you bring it back to London, you drink something like a Forked River or even the Brewing Cooperative or something like that. It makes you feel good. I'm supporting. So I think that's really nice, and I think that's a good movement for branding that we've actually seen is something like that happening.
I think that's also just more common in like European parts of the world too. Like it's a lot more locally focused in most of their cities as well.
Interesting.
My city by necessity.
Globalization has had a huge part in that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing where brands have always been big, but you weren't able to span the entire world.
No.
Like just by being a brand, now you have like Coca-Cola, Olympic, you know what I mean? It's all spread across everything and everyone knows about it, which I think is really crazy. So yeah, I want to hear a little bit more from, I guess, both of your guys' side too, of like, I more look at it from like the high level strategy business, like I like social media, like that. I want to know you design and then you video too. And video has been such a big part of branding, especially now as people have done a lot more of it. And then the design part is so important too. So I don't know who I cornered both of you, but I want to hear more from you guys.
Like, the biggest change I had since school until now is actually video. There's been so much more of it now. So now a lot of people want logos with a little flair. So animated. And on top of that, on top of a transparent background, they have like the logo has to stand out on top of a transparent background, so you could put a video behind it or something like that. People love it. We do it because we love it.
Yes,
so maybe it's not more common, but it's something I'm getting into. So my logos had to evolve to be able to function in that kind of environment. So my logos, are typically going towards, a very modern, clean, slick look, legible, very, most of the time very corporate, While when I was in school, all I was doing was hand lettering, calligraphy, and stuff like that. And I still do. I still like doing it.
That's not what
but I know it's not practical now, to throw a bunch of cursive on top of a video.
Interesting.
It doesn't translate well.
And what do you think, Nicole? You've been doing video for a long time. You've been deep in it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
I've actually been doing video for probably around 5 years. So when I started when I was kind of young, and I've even noticed a little bit of more of a shift into we need more video in marketing. I think that kind of goes into the whole millennial thing and people's attention spans.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if somebody clicks on a web page and they see a video or they see an article, they're most likely to click on the video to get the information that they want. Yeah. And so brands need video. It's not even like they want video to help with their marketing. It's like they need it.
Yeah.
It no longer became fancy thing, it became a necessity.
Yeah.
And that was a huge shift because that happened basically a year and a half ago.
Just the actual information that you take in from a video compared to, it's just scientifically proven that it's more powerful.
For sure.
Much more powerful, right?
So, well, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Video is 24 pictures per
second. Exactly. Wow, it's true. So I went through, what I did was sort of went through and grabbed a couple brands that I thought, well, not just that I thought, that a lot of people think have some good brand stories. So one of the first ones was Tom Shoes, which was the one-for-one, buy one, get one. What do you think about that?
I mean, but the thing is, aren't these shoes made by kids in Indonesia for $4 each?
I don't know about that. Yeah, fact check now. But no.
I don't know. All I saw was Adam Ruins Everything. Yeah, I'll be honest. That's where I got it. I didn't know what Tom Shoes was until then. Yeah. So, and all they did was just rip him apart for being shitty. Yeah. So I guess to me, Tom Shoes are shitty.
Well, that takes away. Oh.
To me, but also he's just he said all these videos are showing people poverty porn. That that it's not that bad in Africa. It's hurting local markets for selling shoes. Because they're getting these cheap shoes that people overpaid for. Yeah. Because Tom is still making some money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sure. It's not the dude's not even named Tom. He's a Polish dude.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I didn't. But no, there has been a huge movement towards, I think, bringing that social mission. And we're in a social enterprise building right now, but there's a lot of people who, the term is they sort of added on, or did they build it in? You know what I mean? And I think that's a big part, and I think we've seen even some backlash from some companies who've tried to bring in a social mission, and it's this is pretty transparent. We see through this, right? Yeah. So I think if you are bringing that stuff in, it has to be pretty authentic and intrinsic, and not just this.
Just for,
what else do you guys want to talk about?
Personal branding.
Yeah, personal branding. No, and I have put a bunch of that stuff in because I think we're in a time where personal branding is the biggest it can be, and I think a lot of people who are people who aren't even like doing like they got to realize that's still part of their life. You know what I mean? Like even if you're just a normal person applying for a job, there's a personal brand that needs to be built in there, and that's why there's people getting jobs over other people even because they've built up a little bit of a brand there. And I think what we've seen is a lot of companies who are actually built on the backs of a personal brand, or a personal brand is what's making them so big. So like I used the example like Dr. Dre, Beats. You know what I mean? Like if those headphones aren't good. You know what I mean? If you ask a sound engineer, like they're not good headphones, but they've branded them like and Dr. Dre's back. Huge value there, and people will buy it. Just same thing we've seen Steve Jobs, Apple, of course, have to bring that. You know what I mean? It built, and because of these people that we connect to on top of the brand, it has so much more equity and value there, I think. And like for me, one of the big personal brands that I've really built up, or that I've really seen and built up, is Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan, right? And what's so cool about what I think he's done, and he has this very sort of spiritual, sort of hippie vibe, but at the same time he's professional fighter. He's an animal. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like he's been around for so long. You know what I mean? And he's like, you know, just a lot of people get this perception of just because you're into that kind of stuff, you don't do anything. But no, he does everything, and he's good at it, and he's disciplined, and he like, and that's so cool to me. And I think that's a really good example of a brand and taking something and sort of reversing it on what we, you know, you think psychedelics, trippy, hippie guy who doesn't do much, he just hangs out and does nothing. No, he does a lot of stuff. Yeah. And he's very sought after for that. So I think that's a really cool personal brand.
Well, it's kind of like how Alex said with the Leafly, it kind of takes away all the stigma. And
Joe
Rogan takes away all the stigma being this like hippie wussy kind of
exactly.
takes away that all. And I think people love that. People love when a brand or a personal branding kind of takes away a part of the stigma. I think we're really, as millennials, I think we're really into that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, one of the ones that I always talked about, VaynerMedia and Gary Vaynerchuk, which is a huge, I think one of the biggest examples. Yeah, and like if you guys haven't seen him, like if you like one thing of his, you will see everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Video, it's like he's everywhere. But he really, he started just sort of doing videos about wine on YouTube, and now it's translated. I think his company brings in like $200 million in revenue a year, and it's a VaynerMedia, like a ton of employees, and like as much. I don't know like who they work for it because I'm always following Gary, but like they have this steady stream of massive clients and customers, and obviously he's got some stuff figured out. Yeah. But when you do think of it, you think of Gary. You know what I mean? And I think that's had some good parts, but I also think that's had some drawbacks of even the culture of what his employees think of the fact that it's just him sort of getting risen above everyone else. I've always wondered that, but I think that is one of the examples of how powerful personal branding has come and how much success that can have back to an actual business as well, too. He's killing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's everywhere.
But I can definitely see how that can kind of affect the entire company because if people don't like Gary for who he is, then you're not going to like Gary or VaynerMedia. VaynerMedia. Well, and that was a big part of one of the lessons there was like in a socially connected world, like hiring the right people and making sure they're happy is so important. And we've seen some stories of like, a rogue employee who was wrecked some brand, even like, the guys who are spitting in your food at McDonald's, I mean, even it's gone way worse than that. Like we've seen some weirder stuff than that, but like if you have a disengaged employee, it can wreck your whole brand. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing. Even to bring it back, the guy who crashed into Tracy Morgan was a Walmart truck driver. Oh, and he killed the guy, and that was a brand thing though, right? Like people were like, Walmart just killed Tracy Morgan's best friend and almost killed Tracy Morgan, a great comedian. And it was like, but that was a connection, right? And that had a lot of backlash. Well, from your opinion as a designer, what makes a good logo?
Ooh. I think, first and foremost, at the beginning, I was an artsy ass. So forget what I would have said then. Right now, what makes a great logo? Legibility. Can I read your fucking logo? But
we'll beep it out. It's okay. We're good.
Can I read your logo? Can I do that? Can I, put your logo on white, black, transparent, video, whatever, and have it translate to the person what this is, Because getting artsy is fun and all. Yeah. And I did it for a long time, but, when it comes to Ford or Nissan, which one shows up better on a website?
Yeah. Interesting.
Nissan, you could do a big, splash across the entire page with like these really nice modern looking letters, and Ford, you have this ye old English script.
Can a logo stand like on its own? As do you know what I mean? Like a logo is only a part of a brand, but when you design a logo, Is that enough? Or what do you
I don't think it is.
No, yeah.
Because then it has no heart.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know, and like that's part of my design process.
Yeah.
Like I get to know these people.
Yeah.
I get to know these people's clients. I do a lot of research on that. I get to know what those clients would want. I get to know what they kind of want to see, and I kind of start mixing ideas that, that everyone can be happy with, but also looking into the future. You know, I'm also seeing huge. No one is making a business that they hope will decline in the future, right? So exactly who else do they want to pick up in the future? Yeah. Where can this logo stand the test of time, right? And I always just try to make a logo timeless.
To bring it back to this personal brand, I got to bring up Drake. I got to bring up what he's done for Toronto, and even just I don't know anything about it. Well, I think I know it's not even that. It's Toronto as a whole, as a city. As you know what, it has branded in the last year, like the last couple of years, it has completely their sports teams work now. They've got great branding on the sports teams. They've got the most support in the city.
I like the Raptors logo.
The We the North. They built up an amazing camp, like some very powerful stuff, and it's very impressive. I think what they've done. One of the things that Drake that was crazy here is they did basically a really in-depth study of how much his promotion of Toronto was worth. $3 billion is what they calculated that. That's a lot. You know what I mean? That's like a brand equity that he helped build for Toronto, which is that's crazy, right? And
so Drake basically saved Toronto.
He saved Toronto. Shout out to Drake.
But now it costs a ton to live
now
there.
It costs a ton to live there, and now they have some other problems to deal with. I guess I don't have too much more to say. I think one of the last things I did think was
what do you have about Microsoft, actually?
Yeah, well, so this is a couple things. So the one about Microsoft is that a lot of companies are now bringing automation into their marketing, and we're seeing a lot of problems with that, obviously. So Microsoft was basically...
they own the fucking computer that we run.
So Microsoft created an artificial intelligence program to basically be their Twitter. And they told them that it was sort of like a little campaign they did, but then like the people on Twitter realized very quickly that they could like manipulate the artificial intelligence, and by the end, like it was saying like, yeah, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. Like that's the Microsoft Twitter, like tweeting that, and I think there's a huge. Like a lot of people think let's automate our marketing because we don't have to do anything anymore, but there has been massive ramifications of that already, and it's like be very careful. And if like a big it scares me. You know what I mean? A big company just doing one auto tweet. Oh man, could be over, right? Like it's crazy.
I'm not surprised it's Microsoft. I feel like Microsoft is just kind of hanging in there.
Well, Microsoft, like Windows 10 actually just sucks up data.
Yeah,
like, that's why they wanted everyone to update it to it. So like Microsoft 10 has pretty much as Google has on you.
Well, and the thing was too is that they got a lot of backlash, and it was against their brand too, because they were auto forcing the updates, right? And like that's big. You know what I mean? And they got a lot of backlash.
But like the thing is, they got a lot of backlash and didn't do anything.
No,
I'm on Windows 10. I don't have a choice.
I know.
They wanted that data. That data was valuable.
Well, and that's where I think there's a thing to be said of you can jump over a brand if it's useful enough. You know what I mean? Like even if something like there's a lot of people who didn't like. Even I don't.
I mean, I didn't like the auto update, but I had to.
Yeah.
And I still use my computer.
You use the computer because it's so good.
And it now knows all the fucked up shit I did too.
Oh god. See, this is why I'm a Mac.
Mac. Well, and so I guess I got there are a couple things there just to end on there. I said a brand is your promise to your customer. So that's that's a pretty important thing. If you're not fulfilling that promise, just like anyone, if you break someone's trust, they're going to be angry at you. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
And then they said the foundation of your brand is the logo, but everything else it builds upon that. And there was 4 lessons, and again, I believe this was entrepreneur.com that said it. But in a socially connected world, hiring the right people is more important than ever. Double check your work, then check again. You know what I mean? And before you put the video out, before you put the tweet out, make sure everything's looking good on it.
Also spell check.
Yeah, spell check. Honestly, don't even really need to use Twitter anymore. That's my pick, but that's nothing else. Like it or not, your message is global. And then last one, honesty now more than ever is always the best policy.
Yes,
and
I like that.
That's very important as well too. So I guess we'll wrap that up
and
there.
Don't trust the government.
We're gonna wrap it up there on that as well too. This is SixFive session number 3. Branding. Tyler out.
Alex, have a good one.
Nicole out. Goodbye.